What's good, Kanekis? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. So we're going to be doing some calculus today. Don't worry, it's not very complicated. I'll walk you all through it. It is to help explain the theoretical value of gold priced in dollars and in all currencies. So the first chart I'm going to show you is just to really explain how much the dollar has been devalued. So since the Federal Reserve came into being back in 1913, they've massively devalued the dollar. I've talked about all of this, the history through it. If you watched all the economics videos, you're up to scratch by now. And this chart, as we're seeing here, is essentially the value of $1 since the inception of the Fed. You can find this on their website. It's called the Fred, is the St. Louis Fed. And what can we see in this chart? Well, we can see that $1 back in January 1913 is now all the way down there. Look at that. So there's 3 cents left. 3 cents left in the dollar from 1913. That's a massive devaluation, guys. And look at this. Look at the y-axis. What do you notice? 0. They're telling you it tends to 0. Now, I say tends because it's important in what I'm about to explain about dividing by 0. I mean, in maths, we all know you don't divide by 0 because it's nonsensical. The accurate term is it's undefined. Really nonsensical, but it's undefined. And the reason being is that if you multiply any number by 0, you get 0. But if you divide a given number by 0, it's hard to wrap your head around. It's really hard to wrap your head around. But in calculus, this is where the beauty comes in. What we examine is something called limits. So as something tends towards 0 or as something tends towards a value, this is the value you can expect. So the way to read this is as the value of x tends to 0, we get infinity. So this is a way for me to say that gold's price in dollar terms is infinity. I have created a tweet about this, and yes, I stand behind this. As the dollar tends to 0, gold's price is practically infinite. Because gold is priced in dollars, dollars aren't worth anything. 1 divided by 0 or 1 divided by x as it tends to 0 is infinity. Which is why, I mean, when people talk about, oh, what's your price targets for gold? Yes, generally we're like, yeah, 20,000 because that's if you divide the US M2 money supply by the number of gold ounces in existence. But then those dollars are worthless. So this is what I mean. On the X column, here in this table, that's essentially the value of the dollar in this sense. And on the one on the right, the 1 over x, that's the y-axis. And we're saying that as x tends to 0, so as it goes from the 7 value here towards 0, the y starts shooting up. That means it's tending towards infinity. The term for it is an asymptote. As it approaches it very slowly, very slowly. It gets closer and closer, never actually touching it, but it gets closer and closer. And what are we seeing in reality? That's the price of gold. Gold's theoretical value, maximum theoretical value in dollars, in pounds, in Aussie dollars, the yen, the yuan, euros, is infinite. Because they're worth nothing. So if someone asks you, well, isn't the price of gold a bit high right now? Well, it's high against what? It's expensive against what? Against dollars? I don't think so. Because dollars have no worth. I don't think so. So if you're looking at the price of gold and you're thinking, well, it's a bit too, is it too late? Have I missed the boat? You haven't. If you're not on the boat, you're screwed. You're screwed because anything that you have denominated in dollars, I'm sorry, but it's kind of going to 0 because it's worthless. It's worthless because it won't be able to buy you actual money, which is gold. To help put this into context for you, I love doing this. whenever I look at the gold chart. If you think it's too high, just invert the gold chart because that's the value of a dollar. We're currently looking at the value of $1. How much gold $1 can get you? The chart is zero. So if this motivates you to get at least a gram, I wouldn't even say an ounce, but at least a gram of gold, and you can buy a gram of gold, at least a gram of gold, please let me know in the comments. I really want to, drive in the message that no, you shouldn't be saving long term in dollars. I will keep driving that message home. You should not be saving long term in dollars. And well, as for silver, well, does this apply to silver as well? Technically, but then silver's price is usually relative to gold. So that's where the gold silver ratio comes in. So it's about how much gold can you get for your silver as opposed to, how many dollars can get you your silver, if that helps to make sense. So silver is always relative to gold. Always just think about silver relative to gold. Gold is the benchmark. Gold is the benchmark. Price everything in gold. I hope you really found this informative because once you wrap your head around this, gold no longer looks expensive. In fact, each time the price of gold goes up, it motivates you to buy more because it means your dollar is worth less and less. Please hit the like button, subscribe as well if you aren't already. I have a few more ideas that I'd like to get out in bite sizes, so keep an eye on the channel for those, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.